Hi, welcome to this week's Word for Wednesday. I'm Pastor Tom. Thanks for joining us. And today I want to talk to you about a movie that I'm sure some of you have seen called The Princess Bride. This is a movie back in the 80s. It was a book first, but made into a movie back in the 80s, and it's gotten pretty popular, a good cult following, I guess you would say. And the reason I think of this movie is because of a certain line that occurs a little about halfway through the movie. Two of the characters are meet. They're having a dispute about something. One of them is, well, they're the two main characters of the movie. One of them is Princess Buttercup, and she's having an argument with the Dread Pirate Roberts, who she doesn't realize is her long lost love, a guy named Wesley. So Princess Buttercup is arguing with Wesley in disguise, and she says something along the lines of, after their argument, she says something along the lines of, "You mock my pain." To which he replies, and I love this line, he replies, "Life is pain. Anyone who says otherwise is selling something." Or something along those lines. Maybe who says differently is selling something, but you get the idea. Life is pain. Anyone who says otherwise is selling something. And the reason that came to mind is because it really sets Christianity apart in a lot of ways. Christianity isn't trying to sell you something. I was reminded of this line when I ran across this post on Facebook, and I'm going to share this on our Facebook page in a bit. So if you follow us there, you can see it. But it says three things that Jesus never said. One, you will be healthy. Two, you will be wealthy. Three, you will be successful. He doesn't say you will be healthy. He doesn't say you will be wealthy. He doesn't say you will be successful. But he does say three other things. What Jesus says is you will be hated, you will have trouble, and you will suffer. So that really sets Christianity apart. Christianity, it's not trying to sell you something, it's trying to give you the straight facts. And Jesus, of course, most famously says something like about this in, I got here John 15. I'm going to read verses 18 and 19. This is Jesus speaking. If the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love its own. Yet because you are not of the world, but I chose you out of the world, therefore the world hates you. Jesus promises that the world will hate us because he has called us out of the world. We have different mindset. We have a different philosophy. We have a different worldview. We have a different way of doing things. We have different goals. We have different priorities, and they do not fit neatly into the world's. For that reason, the world hated Jesus, and the world will hate us. I find it interesting that this is written in the Gospel of John. That's the latest of the Gospels to be written and one of the latest books of the Bible to be written. And John, when he was doing his writing of the Gospel of John, his letters, and the book of Revelation, he was at that point a pretty old guy. According to Christian tradition, he lived to be a very old age and he did most of his writing at a very old age. And why is that important? Because he has been around the longest after the time of Christ. He is the last of the apostles still alive, and he's seen, or maybe not personally witnessed, but he's heard of all of the other apostles that he had learned with at the feet of Jesus, all the other apostles that were with him in the early days of the church. They've all passed on by this time, along with many others that they had seen come to the faith over the years. And according to Christian tradition, all of these other apostles died as martyrs, were killed for their faith. And I can just see John as an old man writing these things, or rather, dictating them to his secretary who was writing them, since that's how most writing was done in those days. But I could see him thinking about these things as he gets to this passage and why he would want to emphasize this point, because he's seen so much of it over the years since the time of Christ. He has seen so much of it over the years since they were first starting the churches in Jerusalem. He's seen so much of it over the years as Roman emperors have cracked down on the spread of Christianity. He's seen so many of his fellow Christians be put to death over the years. And he remembers distinctly the words of Jesus Christ so many years earlier, where he says, "Don't be surprised when the world hates you. It hated me first." He remembers how they put Christ to death on the cross. That's chapter 15 of John, and he's going to talk about the crucifixion not long after he gives these words in the book of John. So we, as Christians in America, we have been spoiled a lot over the years, that we've lived in a mostly Christian society that held to mostly Christian ethical standards. A lot of that is changing in recent years. Now, I'd say, as it's changing, don't be surprised when the world comes more and more to hate us as Christians. And we see some Christians who are falling by the wayside. They are abandoning the Christian mindset in order to adopt a more worldview of the society we live in. And the Bible says these people are trying to please man rather than God, and they won't last long. It's not long between abandoning the Christian worldview. It's not long until you abandon the Christian title, I should think. And churches that do this, abandon biblical worldview in favor of a secular worldview, those are the churches that are shrinking and dying the fastest. But the Christians that stay firm, hold on to a biblical worldview, and separate themselves from secular mindsets, they're the ones that are going to be hated in the coming days. So, just something for us to keep in mind as we see this society around us become less and less Christian as we move forward. This video is a ministry of Lakefield Baptist Church. If you're in the area of Newberry, Michigan or Curtis, Michigan, and you don't have a church that you attend, you're welcome to join us on Sunday mornings at 11 o'clock. Again, that's Lakefield Baptist Church. Thanks for joining me. Talk to you all next time.